Even as he began this spectacular manoeuvre, pilot Andy Hill had no hope of completing it. He was too low, travelling too slow. Key errors had been made, and they were to cost 11 lives as the vintage Hawker Hunter jet crashed onto the busy A27.
Oh
no! Enthusiasts at the popular Shoreham air show could only watch on in horror.
Stay in your places, please.
Today's report by the Air Accident Investigation Branch highlights a sequence of failings that led to this tragedy. The report concludes that Andy Hill's plane was flying 40 knots too slow and 900 feet lower than it should have been, and full thrust was not used before the manoeuvre. This meant the plane did not reach the correct height at the top of the loop. At this point, he could have performed an emergency recovery manoeuvre, but today it was revealed he hadn't been trained to carry out one in this aircraft. Aviation rules states clearly a plane should be no lower than 500 feet at the bottom of such a spectacular manoeuvre. But Andy Hill was just 100 feet above the ground and the busy A27 here. It was too low to pull up again. His vintage jet crashed in a fireball onto the traffic before ending up among the bushes and trees here, just a few hundred yards from the airstrip where his display should have ended. The 11 men who died were passing motorists, cyclists and pedestrians, the youngest 23, the oldest 76. Red Cross volunteer Terry Alexander, who treated survivors, says only at the last moment was it clear the pilot was in trouble.
He's quite low, but Gustav's really clever. And then all of a sudden, it just kind of looked like it was too low. Huge clouds of smoke, and I knew that this was bad. It was obvious where it had come down. It was obvious that it was going to be serious.
Veteran pilot Andy Hill survived, but cannot remember the crash or the mistakes he made. One possible explanation offered today was that he was used to flying a smaller plane that could have pulled off that dive.
One possibility was that he had confused the height required to complete this manoeuvre in the Hunter with the lower height required to complete that manoeuvre safely in a Jet Provost, which was another aircraft type that he was authorised to conduct flying displays in.
But the report's authors also identify previous incidents involving Andy Hill. In 2014, he was reported for flying too low over nearby Lancing College. And the same year, this display at the Southport Air Show was stopped because his plane was too close to the crowd. The failure of the Shoreham organisers to act on the pilot's history is also highlighted in this report, which is now being studied by the police before they decide if anyone will face criminal proceedings. Paul Davis, ITV News, Shoreham.